So with your child's pose, bring your toes to touch, knees to mat width distance. And walk your hands out in front of you. Let your forehead come to the mat. And this is just your chance to start to settle into the mat, settle into your space. You can keep this child's pose as active or as passive as you'd like. So you can keep your elbows resting on the floor, your hips and core relaxed for a moment. I like to start my child's pose there before we activate it. And start to breathe into the backs of your ribs, into the lower back. Observe maybe how your body feels different today than it did on Tuesday with the same starting position. And see if you can start to deepen your breath to that kind of 1-to-1 ratio of inhale to exhale, extending your breath a little bit more, starting to control it a little bit, but not necessarily finding your ujjayi breath just yet. And allow each exhale to clear your mind, letting go of one thought, one distraction. And take just about 5 full breaths here in this child's pose. Two more breaths. Now keep your hips where they are. Tiptoe your fingers over to the right side of your mat. So create that nice little side bend here in this child's pose. Your forehead will relax back down. You can stack your left hand over your right if you want. And then it's that feeling of sinking your left hip back down and even spiraling your left shoulder slightly more down towards the floor. You might notice a stretch into your lat if you do that. Take one more full breath right here. On your next inhale, tiptoe your hands back through center. And then exhale, tiptoe them all the way to the left side of the mat. So creating your side bend on the opposite side. Right hand can stack over left if that feels good, sinking your right hip back down towards the floor and spiraling your right armpit and shoulder towards the floor as well. Take one full breath. On your next inhale, tiptoe your fingers back to center and find that activated child's pose again. So coming to your fingertips, those spider fingers, activate your arms so that your elbows lift off the mat, triceps engage. Think about pressing your heels or hips actively back towards your heels and engage your core. So you might notice that that creates a slight doming feeling in the back of the shoulders. Take another round of breath right here. On your next inhale, move through your tabletop position, so all fours, all the way into your puppy dog pose as you exhale. So keeping the hips aligned over the knees, walk your hands forward, allowing your chest to come towards the mat. Your tailbone will stay lifted up nice and high, so your thighs remain vertical. Two options with your head placement. You can either keep your chin on the mat, or your forehead can come down if the front of your neck doesn't feel super mobile today. Just feel that expansion of the front of the body. Allow your armpits to melt closer to the mat. This one can feel relatively intense, but it's a really nice opener for the front of the body. You have about 2 more breaths here. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands back nice and slow, coming into your tabletop position. Just stack the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Knees are hip width distance as always. And just make sure your palms and all 10 fingers are pressing into the mat, so you're finding that connection of the hands into the floor right away. Moving into our cows and cats. Inhale, drop your belly, bring your gaze high to the sky, open up through the heart, really shine the collarbone up. Then exhale, press through the palms, scoop through the belly, tuck the tail, find your cat pose here. Really feel the core activating, your shins and the tops of the feet pressing into the floor. So you could hover those knees if you wanted to. Inhale, drop the belly, bring the gaze high again. Think about creating length from the tailbone to the head instead of crunching into the lower back. And then exhale, press through the palms, tuck the tail, scoop through the belly. Cat pose. One more full round. Inhale, drop the belly, bring the gaze high. And exhale, press through the palms, tuck the tail. Come back to your neutral spine. We'll take those one-legged cat-cows here. So extend your right leg back behind you, straight out from the hip. Check on the squareness of your hip. So that right hip point points down towards the floor. Imagine you're squeezing an imaginary ball between your two thighs so that the inner thighs engage even though the legs are separated. Now bend your right knee so that your thigh stays parallel to the floor, but there's that 90-degree bend in the legs. Make sure that you don't sit into the arch of your low back, so that stays active. Now as you inhale, start to lift your right foot towards the ceiling. Find that same cow pose shape in the back. Imagine that you're touching your heel to the crown of your head in one big arc. Then as you exhale, bring your knee towards your nose, scoop through the belly. Press your hands into the floor, then feel the top of your left foot pressing into the floor, imagining you could hover that knee. Notice how that activates the core. We'll do 2 more rounds. So inhale, lift that right leg, make sure the knee still points down. Really step towards the ceiling, arch the spine, engage the hamstring and glute. Then exhale, tuck the tail, knee comes in towards the nose, hands and left foot press into the floor. 1 more round. Inhale, lift that right leg high, really integrate the back of the body. Then exhale, tuck through the tail, scoop through the belly. Now inhale, extend your right leg back behind you. It comes right back out from the hip, and reach your left fingertips forward. So we're balancing on our right hand and our left knee. From here, reach your left hand back, bend your right leg, grab the inside of that right foot. Inhale, start to kick into that hand. So today we're finding our revolved dancer later in our practice. So this is that base feeling you want, that opposition of the foot into the hand, hand into the foot. You might feel a stretch in that right thigh, maybe a slight opening in the front of the left shoulder. Take 1 more round of breath here. See if you can kick a little bit higher, maintain that balance. On your next inhale, gently extend your left arm and right leg long. And then exhale, hands and knee come back to the mat. We'll do all of that to the other side. So extend your left leg back behind you first. It comes straight out from the hip. Make sure the toes point straight down, your hip point points straight down as well. Now bend your left leg. Find that 90-degree angle. Feel the hamstring engage. Imagine a Pilates ball squeezing between your calf and hamstring. Inhale, start to lift your left foot towards the ceiling. Arch your spine, look up. Imagine scratching the top of your head with your left foot. Then exhale, tuck through the tail, knee comes into the nose. Press your right foot and hands into the mat as if you could hover. Then inhale, reach the left leg high again. Keep squeezing that imaginary ball behind your knee and between your inner thighs. Then exhale, scoop, knee comes to the nose. Press your feet and hands into the floor. Final time, inhale, lift the left leg high, expand through the front of the body. Imagine an arc from your head to your foot. And exhale, press through the palms, tuck, knee comes into the nose. Now inhale, extend neutral spine, so the left leg reaches out behind you. Reach your right arm forward, finding your balance on your hand and knee here. Bend your left leg, reach back with that right hand and grab your foot. Start to kick in as you inhale, finding that back bend here. And again, finding that revolved dancer shape with ourselves on the floor. So that oppositional force, notice how if you press equally from your hand to foot, foot to hand, it stabilizes you. 1 more round of breath here. Now inhale, reach your arm and leg long in both directions. And exhale, hand and knee come back to the mat. Take an inhale, tuck your toes underneath you. Then exhale, send your hips high, find your downward dog. Take a moment here in this downward dog. Your core should feel pretty active after all of those arches and curls. So see if you can keep that activation, the belly button still pulling in and up towards the rib cage. Pedal out the feet, finding whatever stretches in your calves feel good, whatever stretches in the ankles. Maybe checking in with the tightness of your legs today, just being aware of it. Then take that moment of stillness in your down dog. So set elbow feels towards the mat. Keep pulling the kneecaps up to activate the quads. Belly and ribcage move closer to the thighs, and that slight expansion in the armpits like we had in our puppy dog pose. So we're aiming for that same level of mobility here. Make sure your palms and all 10 fingers are pressing firmly into the mat, all equal. So we're not favoring one side of the hand or one set of fingers. From here, gently bring your gaze forward. Start to walk your feet into your ragdoll. So feet walk forward. They end in hip width distance. And let that gentle bend in the knees happen. Let the torso hang heavy over the thighs. Remembering that crown of the head hangs as low as possible. Maybe take opposite elbows, maybe interlace behind the head. Finding whatever option feels best. Imagining that you're tractioning the spine here, so that length is being created in between all the vertebrae. All of that tension, all of that compression that we feel on a day-to-day basis is being released. Take about 1 more or 2 more rounds of breath, shaking your head yes and no, swaying side to side, whatever movements feel good. Final inhale here. Exhale, gently release your arms. Keep the bend in the knees. Roll up through the spine 1 vertebra at a time, as slow as you want. That head is the last thing to come up. Once you arrive, it's your big shoulder roll up and back, just opening through the front of the body. Step your feet together underneath you, finding you're standing Tadasana, that mountain. Release the arms down by the sides. And just finding those kind of fundamentals of standing balances, the rooting down into the floor. Your toes are even active here, pressing the mat away from you. Feel the legs activate, the quads are engaged, the glutes squeeze slightly, the belly button pulls in and up, and then the crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach your arms high, let your gaze follow. Then exhale, hands come to heart center. Take a moment, bow your chin, close your eyes. Set your intention for your practice today. Whatever that intention is, whatever brought you to your mat, remembering to keep that intention in mind throughout the practice. And let's seal that in with a breath. So deep inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Now keep the breath just as deep. Seal the lips, breathe in and out through the nose. Finding your Ujjayi breath, that breath that generates heat within the body. Remember to find that slight constriction in the back of the throat, so it's like you're fogging up a mirror with the mouth closed, or sighing but without the vocalization. Take about 3 or 4 full Ujjayi breaths here. Maybe you can hear yourself make those breaths with an oceanic sound. Final breath. Now maintain that Ujjayi breath as we start moving. So blink your eyes open, moving into our Sun A. Inhale, reach your arms high, let your gaze follow. Then exhale, forward fold, hinge forward from the hips, bring the torso low. Inhale as your halfway lift, lengthen your spine, fingertips to the mat or hands to the shins, remembering that it's not an arch of the back, it's not a curve of the back, but a lengthening of the crown of the head to the tailbone. As you exhale, plant your palms, step back into your high plank position. Remember, knees up or down. As always, if you drop those knees, the tailbone does not drop with them. So we're still in a plank position, but the knees can add some support. Take an inhale in your plank, shift forward if your legs are straight, then exhale, lower all the way down to your belly, hug the elbows into the body. From there, let the tops of your feet come to the mat, hands stay by your rib cage. Inhale, find your baby cobra. So just lift the top of your chest off the mat, feet still press down really actively here. Now remembering that the hands are doing very little here. They're just for a little bit of support. The lift is coming from the back of the body. Take 1 more inhale here. And exhale, release the chest down. Inhale, press through your tabletop position, so come through all 4s. Then exhale, tuck the toes, send your hips high, downward facing dog. Take 2 full Ujjayi breaths once you arrive in your down dog. Bring your gaze forward, step your feet to the top of the mat, toes come to touch underneath you. Inhale, find your halfway lift, lengthen your spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky, let your gaze follow. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Moving into our second round of Sun A. Inhale, sweep the arms high. This is our Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, hinge forward from the hips. This is your Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen the spine. Then exhale, plant the palms, step back into your high plank, and lower all the way to your belly again, knees up or down. Once you reach the belly, the toes untuck behind you. Take an inhale, find a little locust here. So lift your chest and legs off the mat. The hands stay down. Now as you lift those legs, see if you can zip them together. So feel the inner thighs activate here. Now maybe see if you can hover your hands off the mat. Take one more inhale here, lift everything higher. And exhale, release the chest and legs down, hands come by the rib cage. Inhale, press through your tabletop position. Exhale, tuck the toes, hips go high, downward facing dog. Take 2 more Ujjayi breaths here, in and out through the nose. Bring your gaze forward, step your feet to the top of the mat, toes come to touch underneath you. Inhale, find your halfway lift, lengthen the spine. And exhale, forward fold, release the chest down. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky, let your gaze follow. And exhale, hands come to heart center. One more round of that Sun A. Inhale, reach the arms high. Let your right hand grab your left wrist this time. As you exhale, bend over to the right. So finding that really nice side stretch here. Trying to expand and open through the left shoulder. Keep pressing your left hip towards the left side of the room. On your next inhale, move back through center. Switch your grip so left hand comes to right wrist. Exhale, bend over to the left. Spiral your right shoulder open. Press your right hip towards the side wall. Next inhale, come back to center. Maybe take a little back bend here, shining your heart to the ceiling. Then exhale, forward fold. Hinge forward from the hips. Inhale, find your halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Then exhale, plant your palms, step back into your high plank. Now this time around, you can take one of the versions we did before, so your cobra or the locust, or you can take your chaturanga. So if you take a chaturanga, you inhale, shift forward. You exhale, find that 90-degree bend in the arms, hugging the elbows into the body. You inhale, pull the chest through, come to the tops of your feet. This is your upward dog. Arms are straight, tops of the feet on the floor, but kneecaps off the floor. Then exhale, send the hips high, downward facing dog. Once you reach your down dog, just take one full Ujjayi breath. From here, bring your gaze forward, step your feet to the top of the mat, toes come to touch underneath you. Inhale, find a halfway lift, lengthen the spine, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find your chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend your legs, reach your arms high, sit your hips down nice and low. Check that you can see all 10 toes by shifting the weight back into the heels. Maybe lift those toes off the mat and then place them back down again. Make sure your low abs are active here. Slightly knit your ribs together so we're not finding huge back bend. See if you can reach your fingertips up a little more, engaging the triceps. Take one more inhale here, sit a little bit lower. Then exhale, forward fold, release, bring the body low. Inhale, find your halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant the palms, step back into your downward dog. So lift the hips high. From your down dog, inhale, reach your right leg high. So finding a three-legged dog for a moment, you can open those hips, bend the knee. You can take a moment to circle the ankle, circle the knee, just finding that nice stretch here. Make sure that right shoulder still spirals down towards the floor. Once you feel satisfied with that three-legged dog, inhale, straighten the legs, square off the hips again. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands. Setting up for our warrior one, your left heel spirals down towards the floor, so your toes point towards that front left corner. Right leg bends as you inhale, reach the arms up. Ground down into that right foot and left foot equally. Left pinky toes press into the floor, and pull your right hip and shoulder back slightly. Press your left hip forward a little bit. On your next inhale, maybe find a gentle back bend, reaching your fingertips up and back. Then exhale, hands come down to frame your right foot. Step your right foot back to meet the left, downward dog. Hips lift nice and high. We'll do that to the other side. So inhale, left leg reaches up. Take a moment to open your hips, bend that knee, circle the ankle and knee in your three-legged dog. Left shoulder still points down towards the floor, equal weight between your two hands. One more breath here. Next inhale, straighten your left leg, square the hips off towards the floor, and exhale, step through between your hands, warrior one on the left. So right heel spirals down, toes to the corner. Then inhale, reach your arms up, bending nice and deep into your left leg. Pulling left hip and shoulder back, pressing the feet into the floor. Right hip presses forward slightly. Take an inhale, maybe find a gentle back bend here, open through the heart. Then exhale, hands come down to frame that foot, downward dog. Left foot steps back to meet the right, hips lift up nice and high. One full Ujjayi breath here. Bring your gaze forward, step your feet to the top of the mat, toes come to touch underneath you. From there, inhale as your halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose again, bend nice and deep into those legs, reach those arms up high. Now this time as you exhale, it's that half chair, our Ardha Utkatasana. So the chest comes low, the arms reach back behind you, remembering that the chest and belly are close to the thighs, but they're not resting on the thighs. Here today we'll find that same slight lift of the chest, so shining your sternum forward a little bit. Just notice how that integrates the upper back as well. From here, bring your hands to heart center, keeping this half chair shape. Shift your weight to your right foot and hover your left foot off the mat, bringing it into Shiva squat. So bringing your left knee to your right calf, just spending a moment here activating that right leg. Find those deep Ujjayi breaths. Inhale, bring your left leg back into your chest, and exhale, let your left foot land on the mat. We're back in that chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up one more time. Then exhale, forward fold, release the chest down. Inhale as your halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, step your left foot back, finding our warrior one. So skipping our downward dog. So that heel spirals down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Same checks we just took before, so right hip and shoulder are back. Maybe take an inhale, find a gentle back bend here. Then exhale, let your hands come down to frame that right foot. Left heel comes off the mat and slides back slightly for our low lunge. Let your left knee come down, untuck the toes, and inhale, reach the arms up, Anjaneyasana. So feel that nice stretch in the front of your left hip. The hips are dropped nice and low on that mat. Take an inhale, find a gentle back bend. Notice how that increases the stretch in the front of the hip. Then exhale, half splits. Hands come down, shift your weight towards your left leg, straighten the right leg, pulling the right toes back towards your face, starting from the pinky toe. So again, working on that squareness of the foot, noticing how that changes the stretch in the calf. Keep reaching the collarbone towards the toes, making sure that your back thigh is vertical here, so hip is aligned over the knee. Hands are your support, so that right leg is not holding your whole body weight. Take about 2 to 3 more breaths. Final breath. Inhale, start to bend back into that front leg, shifting your weight forward. Now we'll find our lizard. So both hands come inside the right leg. Right foot, toe heels out slightly. Those toes can point towards the corner of your mat if you want. Just make sure the knee tracks. Now 2 options here, and I suggest taking the first option if it's available to you. You can bend that left leg, reach your arm up and back, so right hand to left leg, grabbing onto that foot, and just give yourself a little quad stretch here. Now, if that option's not available, you can always stay in that lizard and come to your forearms if you want. But if you're grabbing that foot, which I think we all are, awesome. So today, instead of pulling it in towards your glutes the whole time, I want you to feel a little bit of that kicking sensation. So kicking the left foot into the right hand as if we were in that revolved dancer. And just noticing that opposition. Take another inhale here. Then exhale, gently pull your heel in towards your glutes, so releasing that kicking feeling. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, start to kick your foot into the hand, finding that little opposition. Then exhale, release the kick, pull the heel in towards the glutes, remembering to be gentle here. 1 more time, inhale, kick the foot into the hand. And then exhale, gently draw the heel in towards the glutes. Take just 1 more inhale right here. Then exhale, without slingshotting the foot, gently release the leg back down to the mat. Right hand comes down. Toe heel your right foot back in between your 2 hands. Tuck your left toes, engage the leg so that kneecap comes off the mat. Here's that shift forward we've been doing. So inhale, shift your weight to your right leg. Lift your back leg to 90 degrees. Left toes point straight down towards the floor. Now here, keep the fingertips on the mat. Just start to shine your chest forward a little bit, finding that integration of the upper back. Take 1 more inhale here. Then exhale, forward fold. Left foot meets the right. Let the chest release down. From here, inhale, find your chair pose again. Bend nice and deep into those legs. Reach the arms high. As you exhale, find your Ardha Utkatasana. Chest goes low, arms reach back, hovering the belly and ribcage over the thighs. Keep it active. Sit a little deeper in those legs. Bring your hands through heart center. Gently start to shift your weight towards your left leg. Hover your right foot off the mat. Bring it into your Shiva squat. So you'll notice Shiva is really just a 1-legged chair pose. It's not super different here. You can vary the height of your chest. It's often easier to bring the chest a little lower, though it's a little more work for the left leg. Take an inhale. Start to bring your right leg back towards your chest. Then exhale, right foot meets the left. You're back in your chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up 1 more time. Sit a little bit deeper. Then exhale, forward fold. Release that chest down. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, step the right foot back, setting up for our warrior 1 on the other side. Right heel spirals down to the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up. Squaring off the hips, press the right hip forward slightly. Take an inhale, open the heart to the ceiling. Then exhale, hands come down to frame the foot, finding your low lunge. Right heel comes off the mat and slides back slightly. Let the right knee come down, untuck the toes. Inhale, reach the arms up. Make sure the hips drop down nice and low. You're feeling that stretch in the front of the right hip flexor. Inhale, find a little back bend here. Open the heart to the ceiling. Then exhale, half split. Shift the weight back to the left leg, or right leg, straighten the left leg. Toes pull back towards the face, vertical thigh and back. Then feel that left hip pulling up and back slightly to draw the left heel in towards the face. Remember, the flex of the foot comes from the pinky toe. It really changes the stretch you get in the calves. You can always walk your hands back a little bit as well. Often that feels like a more supportive option. Take about 3 more breaths. Final breath. Inhale, start to bend back into your left leg. Shift your weight forward. We'll find our lizard. So left hand comes inside the left leg. The foot toe heels outward slightly, maybe slight external rotation from the hip. Now from here, if you bent that leg, which I think we all did, bend your right leg, reach your left arm up and back to grab onto that foot. I like to grab the outside of the foot. And first you can give yourself that little quad stretch before we find the kick. So just feeling that nice opening in the front of the leg. Maybe even a stretch in the front of the left shoulder. Now we'll start to find that opposition. So as you inhale, start to kick your foot into your hand. Find that oppositional force. Then exhale, gently bend that knee a little more. Draw the leg in. We do that 2 more times. Inhale, kick your foot into your hand. Get that feeling in the body. And then exhale, gently draw the heel in towards the glutes. 1 more time. Inhale, gently start to kick. Exhale, find your stretch. Take an inhale in this stretch. And then exhale without slingshotting, gently release the leg. Allow the left hand to come back to the floor. Toe heel your left foot in between your 2 hands. Tuck your right toes, engage the leg so the kneecap comes off the mat. Gaze is forward. Inhale, shift forward. Lift your right leg off the mat. Find that 90-degree angle, long spine. Fingertips are on the floor. Now inhale, find that gentle lift of the heart, shining your chest forward. And then exhale, forward fold, right foot meets the left, chest releases down. Inhale, find a halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into a high plank. So knees up or down, take an inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly, hugging the elbows into the body. Now once you reach your belly, let your tops of the feet come to the floor. Reach your left arm out in front of you, palm facing down. Now bend your left leg, reach your right hand back to grab the inside of that left foot or ankle. So we're reaching across the body behind us, again, finding that kind of crossed oppositional position. As you inhale, start to kick your foot into your hand, lift your chest and left thigh off the mat. Now once you have that coordination, you can hover your right leg and left hand off the mat as well, finding that length through everything. This is your revolved dancer pose, just on the floor. So getting this feeling in the body. Take another inhale, kick a little bit harder. Exhale, gently release everything down. Let your hands come by your sides. Let your left ear come to the mat for a moment. Just taking one breath on your belly here. Now going right into the other side of that. So reach your right fingertips forward, palm faces down. Bend your right leg, left hand reaches back to grab the inside of that foot or ankle. So opposite hand as foot, reaching across the body. As you inhale, start to kick your foot into your hand, lift the thigh off the mat, lift the chest off the mat. That kick is what keeps the arc happening through your body. Then maybe reach your fingertips and leg off the mat as well. So that's your revolved dancer again, a little less extended than it would be when we're standing, but it's the same coordination here. Take another inhale, kick. And exhale, release everything down. Let your right ear come to the mat, arms down by your sides. Take one full breath on your belly. Bring your chin back to the mat, hands come by your rib cage. Inhale, press through your tabletop or to a high plank, whatever you feel like doing this morning. Then exhale, downward dog, hips go high. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths in this downward dog. So take a deep inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. 2 more times, inhale through the nose. Open mouth, let it go. Final time, inhale. Exhale, let it go. Seal the lips, breathe in and out through the nose. Find your Ujjayi breath again. On your next inhale, reach your right leg high, 3-legged dog, hips stay square. Exhale, step through between your hands. Keep your left heel lifted, setting up for our crescent lunge as you inhale. Reach the arms up. So hips are still square here. You're actively pressing your left heel forward. Take another inhale here. Maybe you find a little back bend. Then exhale, it's our thunderbolt. So chest comes low, arms reach back, just like that Ardha Utkatasana. You have that length from the crown of your head all the way to your fingertips. Now taking a gentle bend in that left leg, here's that challenging transition. Inhale, shift into your airplane. So weight comes all the way to that right leg. Left leg lifts off the mat to 90 degrees. Arms still reach back. Now see if you can find that lift of the heart here. So we're integrating the upper back. Feel the lats engage, feel the traps engage, reaching the arms back and chest forward. Take one more inhale here. Keep both legs really active. Exhale, fingertips come to the mat, Shiva squat. Bend your right leg, left knee taps the right calf. Now here's what we've been working towards this whole time. So reach your right arm back, grab the inside of your left foot or ankle. Now working into our revolved dancer, you can always find the kick, keeping your fingertips on the floor. Otherwise, start to kick the foot into that hand. Bring your hands through heart center to reach your left fingertips high, straightening out through that right leg and kicking your left leg up. Keep breathing here. Find that oppositional feeling that you found on the floor. Remembering it doesn't matter how far you go, you can always keep your fingertips down. Take one more inhale here. Now the challenge, exhale the way you came in. So start to bend your right leg. Left knee comes towards that right calf. Fingertips come down towards the floor, finding your Shiva squat again. Inhale, left leg steps back, finding a lunge. Then inhale, reach your arms up, crescent. So we're back where we were before. As you exhale, find your warrior two. So capital T in the arms, bending nice and deep into that right leg. Left foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Inhale, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Reach the right fingertips up and back. Finding that nice side body stretch here. Keep bending nice and deep into the right leg. One more inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. So bringing back through your warrior two. Right elbow comes to the right knee, left arm sweeps across the body. Finding that long line from your left fingertips down to your left foot. Trying to stack the left side over right while still lengthening through the right obliques. Take one more round of breath right here. Next inhale, come back through your warrior two. Straighten the right leg, pivot the toes so both sets face the side of the mat. Then bring your heels in. So finding our star pose. Inhale, reach the arms up, finding opposition. Fingertips reach high, feet reach into the ground. Then exhale, goddess. Bend your legs. Knees press to the sides, out towards the pinky toes, so finding external rotation here. Now this time around, keeping that deep bend, allow your hands to come to your knees. Take an inhale here. Exhale, drop your left shoulder. So just finding a little twist in this goddess pose. You'll notice that when you drop that shoulder, you can actually press your knees out to the side a little more, and this will open the hips. Inhale, move your body back through center. Then exhale, drop your right shoulder down. So just twisting the other way. See if you can press the knees out a little bit more. You might even get a stretch in your inner thighs. Inhale, bring your chest back to center. Bring your hands back to center, heart center here. Straighten your legs, reach your arms high. We'll set up for our triangle from here. So bring your arms out to a capital T shape. Pivot your left toes to the side of your mat. Right toes point towards the front of the mat if they're not already. Once you have your feet set up, inhale, start to reach your right fingertips forward, left hip tips back. Then exhale, bring your right hand low, left fingertips go high. So really spiral your left shoulder open over the right. Try to find that length through the right side of your body. So we're sticking a ruler on that right side. It wouldn't poke anywhere. You have a nice straight line. Try to hover your fingertips off the mat if that's available to you to integrate the back of the body. Now shift your gaze down towards your right foot. We're taking our half moon from here. So gently start to bend your right leg, moving towards those toes. Right hand comes forward and outside of that right foot. Inhale, shift your weight forward, lift your left leg off the mat. So here our legs still have that 90-degree angle, so it's similar to where we've been before, but now our chest and hips are open towards the side of the room. It's a more challenging position. You have to really integrate the front of your body a lot more in this posture. Make sure the left leg is still flexing nice and strong. Take one more inhale here. Warrior two on your exhale. So gently bend your right leg. Left leg lands as gently as possible to bring your torso upright again. From here, inhale, gently just step to the top of your mat, standing mountain pose, Tadasana. However you get there, not the most graceful transition, but it's efficient. So allow your feet to root back into the floor. Bring your hands to your hips. Keep standing up nice and tall. So from here, draw your right knee into the chest. Now on Tuesday we took that revolved Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana with the hand on the knee. Today I'm going to give an option to take it to the full version, so whichever one works best for you. So either bring your left hand to your right knee, finding that feeling here, or you can take your left hand to grab over and to the outside of the right foot. So grabbing on the pinky toe edge of the right foot. If you have that grip, you straighten your leg. So it's significantly more challenging. If you find that it's not going to work for you today, no big deal. You can always just keep the hand on the knee. Inhale, start to spiral your chest towards the right side. So the heart reaches towards the right, maybe extend the right fingertips back. So we have that oppositional feeling of the right fingertips reaching towards the right foot, but everything's kicking in opposite directions. Your left hand is pressing oppositionally into your right foot and vice versa. Take one more round of breath here. Now gently bring your right hand back to your hip. Inhale, untwist the torso. Gaze comes forward. See if you can release that leg, but keep holding it up. So arms reach to the ceiling, right leg kicks forward. Take one more inhale here, kick it a little higher. And exhale, foot releases down. Take a forward fold, hinge forward from the hips. Now in this forward fold, just take a moment. You can bend one knee then the other, just releasing any tension. Whatever feels good here. If you need to shake your head yes and no, this is kind of your free moment before we do all of that to the other side. So once you get those movements out, find a traditional forward fold again. Both legs lengthen, crown of the head goes low. Inhale, find a halfway lift, reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, plant the palms, step back into your downward dog. Lift those hips up nice and high. Take a moment in this down dog. Take a few cleansing breaths if you need to. Otherwise, take a few ujjayi breaths, just tuning back in with your intention. Then once you have recentered your breath, once you've recentered your mind, inhale, reach your left leg high. Find your three-legged dog. Exhale, step forward between your hands, setting up for a crescent lunge. So right heel stays off the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Bending nice and deep into that left leg. This might actually give you a really nice stretch in the front of the right hip right now. That was a very active side for that right hip. So you can press the right hip forward a little to increase that stretch. Take an inhale here, maybe find a little bit of the back bend. Then exhale, thunderbolt. Chest goes low, fingertips reach back. Your legs, if anything, move a little deeper into the posture. Now keeping this energy through the crown of your head and back through the fingertips, bend your right knee a tiny bit. Inhale, shift forward, airplane pose. Right leg lifts off to 90 degrees. Your foot is stepping on an imaginary wall behind you. Your chest starts to lift up. Integrate the upper back here. Keep reaching the fingertips back. Core is still active even though it's a back bend. Take one more deep inhale here. Exhale, Shiva squat. Fingertips hover on the floor. Left leg bends, right knee taps the left calf. Now here comes that revolved dancer again. So matching whatever version you tried to do or did on the first side. Reach your left hand back to grab the inside of that right foot or ankle. Start to kick that foot into the hand as you inhale, bringing your hand through heart center. Lifting the torso up, eventually straightening through that left leg. Kicking nice and strong. Reaching the right fingertips up and forward once you arrive in standing. Keep breathing. One more full breath. Last inhale here. Exhale, come back the way you went in. Bend your left leg. Right knee taps the left calf. The hands come to hover on the floor. You're back in your Shiva squat. Gently step your right leg back, finding a lunge, bending nice and deep into that left leg. And inhale, reach the arms up. Crescent lunge again. From here, exhale, find your warrior two. So bend nice and deep into that left leg. Right foot is flat on the floor behind you. Inhale, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Reach those fingertips up and back. Deep side bend. Let's take another inhale here, enjoying this side stretch. Then exhale, extended side angle. Left elbow comes to the left knee. Right arm sweeps across the body and forward, opening the heart towards the side of the room. Keep finding energy from your fingertips to the outside of that right foot. Left side of the body is nice and long. One more round of breath here. Inhale, move through your warrior two. Straighten through the left leg, pivot the toes. So we'll set up for our prasarita here. So legs stay wide. Both sets of toes face the side of your mat. Take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, open through the heart. Reach your hands down towards the floor, finding that little heart and the shoulder opener here. Now keep the bind as you exhale, fold forward. Allow the crown of your head to release towards the floor. The arms will release to the floor behind your head, or I'm at least imagining that they do. The palms can stay together for a deeper stretch, or they can come apart. Sometimes that's a little more comfortable for the shoulders. Make sure your weight is shifted slightly towards the toes. The legs are really active here. Take one more full round of breath. Gently bring your hands back to your tailbone first. Then exhale, release your hands all the way down towards the mat under your face. Inhale, find a halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Bring your hands to your hips, come all the way up to standing. Now we'll set up for our triangle again, so keep your right foot right where it is. Pivot your left toes to face the front of the mat. Bring your arms out to a capital T shape, gazing over those left fingertips. Inhale, start to reach your left fingertips forward and your right hip tips back. Exhale, tip into your triangle, that Trikonasana. So remembering that placement of the left hand can vary. It might be inside of the foot, it might be on the shin. Wherever it is, minimal weight. So the body is being held up by your muscles, not the left arm. Keep reaching the left side of your body long, stacking the right side over left. Take another round of breath right here. Now shift your gaze down towards your left leg, setting up for our half moon. Take a gentle bend in your left leg. Left hand places forward and outside of that foot. Blocks are always an option. Take an inhale. Shift your weight to your left leg. Lift your right leg off the mat. Maintain that triangle alignment. So right hip and shoulder are open, stacked over the left. Hips and chest point towards the side wall. Make sure the weight is primarily in that left leg. Left hand is just there for balance. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, warrior two, as gracefully as you can, bending that left leg. Send the right leg really far back, and then allow your body to come upright. Now here's our really graceful transition again. Inhale, gently step forward, however that feels good for you. Releasing the arms back down to the side, rooting the legs back down into the mat. Take a deep breath. We are almost through our standing sequence. Bring your hands to your hips. So working into our revolved Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana on the other side. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Now you have options again. You can either bring your right hand to your left knee or right hand over and to the outside of your left foot. If you take your foot, you extend that leg forward. Now this is a totally square hipped position, so you want to keep pulling that left hip back. Wherever you are, foot presses into the hand or knee presses into the hand. Extend your left fingertips back. Start to spiral your chest towards that left leg, towards the left side of the room. Try to keep your balance. Keep pushing into the hand, hand into the foot. Then, of course, keep breathing too. It's the hardest part. Take one more full round of breath. Gently bring your hand back to the hip. Start to bring your chest back forward again. Now here's that challenge. Let go of that left leg without dropping it. So keep kicking that foot forward. Reach the arms high. Take another inhale. Lift it a little higher. And exhale. Let the left foot meet the right. Take a forward fold again. So hinge forward from the hips. Let your head hang nice and heavy. Inhale. Find a halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. And exhale, take a seat. So just bend those legs, sit all the way down, sliding your hips back, extending the legs out in front of you. We made it to the floor, so take a moment to get situated here. You can draw your legs together, just finding that slight engagement of the inner thighs. Quadriceps engage as if you could lift your heels off the mat. From here, take an inhale, reach your arms up nice and high, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold forward, finding your Paschimottanasana. So chest comes towards the thighs, your hands grab wherever it is comfortable to grab on your legs. And remembering that if you grab your feet, see if you can grab from the outside towards the inside, around your feet, and then pull your pinky toes back towards your face. So notice how that changes that stretch in the calves. Keep using your arms to actively pull you forward. Your core is still engaged. Your collarbone still reaches towards the toes. So we're really active in this posture. Take about 3 more breaths right here. Final inhale. And exhale, gently release your chest. Come all the way back up to seated. And draw your knees into your chest, open them to the side, bringing the soles of your feet together for our Baddha Konasana. Now today we're going to take 2 different versions of this Baddha Konasana. First we're going to take a flat-backed version, and then we're going to take a rounded spine. So it's actually going to change where you feel the stretch in your body. So flat back version first. Take your hands to your feet if it's comfortable. You can always open your feet kind of like a book, so the soles of your feet point a little more towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. Find length through your spine, so crown of the head goes up. Then exhale, extend your body forward over the legs, but don't give in to that flat back. So you're maintaining the length through your spine. We don't release over the legs, but we keep reaching the crown of the head towards the top of the mat as you press your chest down. Now this one's a really nice one to take your elbows to your calves and press your knees down. Now obviously we're not going to have a perfectly flat back here. It's pretty near impossible to take a totally flat lower back, but we're still finding that extension of the spine. Take about 3 more breaths here. Keep reaching the crown of your head forward. On your next inhale, keep your flat back and bring your body all the way up to seated. Now this time, as you exhale, start to round your spine. Almost press the back of your rib cage back and curve the head over as if you could place your head in the feet or even in that diamond you've made with the legs. So I encourage you not to just release forward over the legs, but to really actively pull your head down. And you'll notice how the stretch shifts from your hips into your upper back. So you might not go very far. I wouldn't expect us to. We're aiming to find that nice curve through the spine and just really reach the crown of your head down, staying here for about 3 more breaths, noticing that stretching between the shoulder blades. Final breath. On your next inhale, gently roll back up through the spine, bringing your head back to center. Then bring your hands to the outsides of your knees, draw your legs together, and give yourself your little windshield wiper motion side to side. So just rocking the legs one way then the other. Linger a little bit on each side to enjoy that internal rotation of the hips. And then bring your knees back to center when you feel ready. We'll take our boat poses to our backs. So finding our Navasana, working out that core a little bit more. So feet placed flat on the floor, knees together. Hands come behind you, fingertips pointed forward. Find length through your spine as you lift your heels off the mat, then lift your feet off the mat. From here, make sure we didn't round the back. Keep pressing the heart forward. Reach the hands off the mat, palms face up. Final step, maybe you extend the legs. Keep pressing the chest to the thigh to the chest. We're here for 4, 3, 2, low boat on 1. Hover the feet, hover the shoulders, hollow out through the front of the body. Keep reaching your fingertips forward. We're here for 4, 3, 2, fun part, come back up on 1. Hover the legs towards the chest, chest to the legs. Keep that core strong. We're here for 4, 3, 2, low boat on 1. Hover here for 5, 4, 3, 2, to the floor on 1. Release the head and feet down. Draw your knees into your chest for a moment. Give yourself a little hug. Rock it side to side. Then gently release your feet down to the floor. We'll find our figure 4 from here. So using the right leg first, bring your right ankle to your left knee. Allow that right knee to press sideways. Then thread your right arm through that triangle to grab around your left hamstring or over the left shin, whatever feels good. Now, one variation you can take of this pose, if you want to find a little more stretch of the left leg, is to actually straighten that left leg and grab onto the calf or ankle and draw the legs in towards the chest. Now that's totally optional and only if your tailbone doesn't pop off the floor. So we want to maintain the length of the spine, and then that's just a nice little extra you can take if it's available. So wherever you are, allow yourself to breathe. Take about 5 full breaths here. Final inhale. Exhale, keep the figure 4 shape in your legs and just let your left foot come back to rest on the mat. Now we'll take our figure 4 twist from here. If you want to take a traditional supine twist instead, you can feel free to do that. So take an inhale, arms come out to a capital T shape, palms facing down. Exhale, let your legs tip over to the left side. Right foot will plant on that mat, vertical shin here. And now, as always, this is my favorite variation. To reach your left hand, grab onto that right ankle. You can draw that foot a little closer to you and then press your right knee away from you. So by doing that, you might get a really nice stretch in the outside of that right leg, maybe even into the lower back. So it's just a really nice variation. You can shift your gaze over to the right side if it feels good. You can always take your right arm back behind your head on the floor as well. Wherever you are, we're here for about 5 full breaths. Final breath. Then inhale, gently bring your head back to center. Then your legs back to center, gently releasing that figure 4 shape if you still have it. And draw your knees into your chest for a moment. Give yourself a little hug. You can take your little rock side to side, circle the knees, just neutralizing everything. And then we'll take the same series on the other side. So let both feet come back to the mat, hip width distance. Left ankle comes to the right knee, setting up for your figure 4. Left arm threads through to grab in and around that hamstring or over the shin, or taking that extension of the leg if you did it on the first side. So taking the ankle or the calf, drawing the leg in towards the face, simultaneously pressing the tailbone back down towards the floor. So we're always aiming for that length in the spine as we stretch the legs here. You've got 5 or 6 full breaths. Final inhale. Exhale, gently release your legs towards the floor. Maintain your figure 4 shape. Allow your arms to come out to your capital T. We'll take our twist on the other side. If you took a traditional or different twist than the figure 4 one, feel free to set up for that. So we'll take an inhale here. Exhale, let both legs tip over to the right side of the body. This time that right hand reaches and grabs that left ankle if you want. You can draw that foot a little closer to you and then press the left knee away. Notice the stretch that might be created through the outside of the left leg, maybe even to the outer hip and low back. If you shifted your gaze on the first side, feel free to shift it over to the left this time. Just take about 5 full breaths. Final breath. Inhale, bring your head back to center, legs back to center. Gently release your figure 4 shape, draw the legs into the chest again. Maybe find a happy baby, so grab the outsides or insides of your feet. Draw the knees down and around the rib cage. Give yourself a little rock side to side if that feels good. Maybe straighten one leg then the other. Maybe find a full straddle. Whatever last movements you need. And then when you feel ready, draw your knees into your chest one final time. Start to give yourself that tight little hug. So arms wrap around the legs, shoulders lift off the mat, chin tucks into the chest. You squeeze your legs in towards you. You activate the face, you activate the feet. Take another inhale, gather in any extra energy that is remaining. And exhale, Shavasana. Let the legs extend long onto the mat, around mat with distance. Allow the arms to release down by the sides, but a little separate from the body. Allow the eyes to close. Let go of everything we've done in this hour. Let go of any other thoughts, any other attachments. Allow the breath to find its natural rhythm. Let the eyes fall back into the sockets. The jaw unclench. The tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. Just imagine your entire body melting down towards the floor, being both heavy and weightless at the same time. And just take the next couple minutes in stillness in this Shavasana. And I'll be back to wake you up when it's time. And without changing anything in the body, start to deepen your breath. Finding those new inhales, new exhales. Maybe wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You can let your head rock side to side if that feels good. And then gently drawing your knees into your chest, you can roll over to one side, finding a fetal pose for a moment. Allowing the body to feel heavy again. And then keeping your eyes closed and moving as slow as you'd like, just start to make your way to a seated position. Once you arrive, the hands will come to heart center. Allow your chin to bow, close your eyes if they opened. And take a moment to thank yourself for doing something good for your mind and body for an hour out of your morning. The light within me meets, greets, and honors the light within all of you. Thank you so much for practicing this morning. Namaste.